everybody, how are you? Welcome back. For this week's lesson, what we're going to do is learn about another element of art, which is going to be called shapes. Now remember, our first element that we learned was lines. And you need to know your lines and the special names of the lines, because now I'm going to use that vocabulary with you. I've already used it in some of our other projects and our other drawings. But you see that we're going to take those lines, so you need to know the name and the direction, and put them together to make shapes. So I'm going to draw with you now some simple shapes that we use a lot in our art class. And not just art, you probably use them a lot in everyday life when you draw your pictures or you draw some things of your own. So I just want to make sure though that you are drawing it the correct way. I know sometimes you say, oh, Ms.Wich, I know how to draw a circle, and you might go around in one motion. But I want to show you a better way where you can use it a line by line, so one at a time, and you create a nicer, neater shape because you are taking your time drawing it one line at a time. So I'm going to do that with you now. So I need you to go and get your paper, and I need you to get a pencil, and that's all you're going to need for this first part of the project. Okay, we're going to get started on our shapes. Okay, the first shape that we are going to draw is going to be a circle. Now, I'm also going to tell you something special too. It has a special name, that these are called geometric shapes. When you get to second grade and third grade, we'll be talking about that a lot more, but I just want you to know that vocabulary word. It's called geometric, and that means we can measure these kinds of shapes. So even a circle and an oval, we can measure with a special kind of ruler called a protractor. So this is still considered a geometric shape, and we use two curved lines. So like I said before, you don't just want to take your pencil and go around in one motion because, okay, that's a circle, but that might not be my very best, neatest circle. So I don't want you to go around in one motion. I want you to take a letter C curve and stop. I want you to go like that and stop. Then bring your pencil back up to the top, and you are going to do a backward C curve. Okay, and there is my circle. It looks a lot neater and more perfect and round. Okay, I'm going to write the vocabulary word, and just so you can see the letters that go into our words here. Okay, you're learning some language arts. So I'm going to write the word circle. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to challenge yourself and you want to write your word, that's okay, you could, but you don't have to. You could just simply draw the shape. So here's my circle, C-I-R-C-L-E. Okay? Now, our next shape is going to be an oval. Now, an oval is very similar to the circle, except it's stretched out a little bit more. So I'm going to make a longer letter C curve. Long letter C curve. Now go back up to the top and do your long backward C curve. And this is my oval. O-V-A-L. Okay? Oval. The next shape is going to have three lines. The three lines, I first start off with two diagonals. So I start at the top, and I'm going to come diagonal down to the left. Go back up to the top, and I go diagonal down to the right. Now, I want you to go back to our starting point over here on the left-hand side, because usually we draw and we write and actually read too from left to right. So I want you to draw a horizontal line now and connect at the bottom with a horizontal line the two diagonals. So diagonal, diagonal, horizontal. Three types of lines make up my next shape, which is a triangle. T-R-I-A-N-G-L-E. Okay, my triangle. Moving on now. Our next shape is going to have four lines. These four lines that we're going to draw are going to be equal. that means it's the same size. So you have to make sure that you draw them exactly the same, because otherwise you might end up with a really different kind of shape. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start with my vertical line. So it's a straight vertical line. Go back up to the top, and you're going to come across horizontal. Okay? Now, to make sure that it is exactly the same, if you were to connect it in your imagination, it would look like a perfect triangle. That's how you know. If it's anything shorter, then it might not be a perfect triangle, and then you know you're not going to have a square. If you need to add on, I think maybe I just need to add on a little bit more to make it the same. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. And now I know my horizontal line is the same as my vertical. I'm going to continue on and do the same vertical line now, like so on that side. And then again, go back to your left side and come across with the horizontal. Now I made it a little too long, and that's okay. You could simply go and erase, because you want to make sure you have 4 equal lines that are the same. And now that helped me make my square. S-Q-U-A-R-E. Again, draw it line by line. I'm going to show you what kids do. I'm going to do it in red so you know not to do this. Some kids go like this. They go vertical, then horizontal, up, down, like that, okay? Oh, that does look pretty good. Oh, I meant to do that a little sloppy. See, I get a lot of practice at it, so I do. But kids go very fast, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's what I meant to do in red. Now, don't do this. I'm just showing you. Do you see how that square, even though you could tell it's a square, does not look as perfect as my other square that I took my time and did it line by line? So don't go in one motion. It's not going to come out as good until you get lots and lots and lots of practice the way that Ms.Wich does. Okay, moving on now. I'm going to do another shape that has 4 lines, but this time 2 are going to be equal, and then the other 2 are equal. They still have 4 lines, but only 2 are equal of the same size, and then the other 2. So I'm going to start off with my vertical line, and I'm going to make it long vertical. Then I'm going to come across, and I'm going to do the same long vertical line. Now, those are equal. Those are the same. I need to make my top and bottom the same now. So I'm going to make straight, shorter horizontal lines. Short horizontal, short horizontal. And now you might be saying, oh, that's a rectangle. But I'm going to tell you one special thing. I'm going to make you super smarty pants. This kind of rectangle actually has a special name. Because it stands nice and tall like a vertical line, we call this one a vertical rectangle. So everybody say vertical rectangle. That is the proper name for this shape. Okay, vertical rectangle. Well, if I have a vertical rectangle, and actually I hold up my eraser, if I have a vertical rectangle that could stand nice and tall like this, well, I can also have a rectangle that goes side to side, just like the horizontal line goes side to side. So we're going to draw another rectangle, and this one is going to go side to side. It's going to have longer horizontal lines. So long horizontal, and then I'm going to make the same long horizontal, and now I'm going to have a short vertical at the front and the back. And again, it's a rectangle, but it's called horizontal rectangle now. Okay, a horizontal rectangle. Moving on, there's still another shape that has 4 lines. This shape has 4 diagonal lines. So it's going to kind of look like the triangle, except I'm going to flip it. So the top and the bottom are going to be diagonal lines. And it's going to look like this. I start off the same way as I did with my triangle. I'm going to go diagonal down to the left, diagonal down to the right, stop, go back over here on the left side, and now my diagonal line is going to come to the middle. So I'm going to go diagonal to the middle and then diagonal to the middle. This shape is called a diamond. D-I-A-M-O-N-D. Okay, diamond. All right, perfect. So these are all of the geometric shapes that I want you to know in your grade now. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 geometric shapes. And again, you see these shapes in the things that you draw around your home, in pictures, on TV, and especially in math class. You're going to see this in math a lot, these kinds of shapes. Okay, one other thing though I want to tell you is that there are many geometric shapes, and we'll learn a little bit more when we get to 2nd and 3rd grade and 4th grade. But I also want to tell you one other special thing. Not all shapes are geometric. There are shapes that have curved lines and wavy lines and zigzag lines. So when you draw a shape that has those kinds of lines, those are called free form. Okay, they're a little different than geometric because free form, you cannot measure them. You can't measure them with a ruler the same way that you can measure these geometric shapes. So I just want to draw 2 of my favorite free form shapes, and we're going to put them right over here. And the first one is going to have a down curve. So I'm going to start with, it goes down like that. And now I'm going to continue it, and I'm going to make another down curve. See how I can't take a ruler and measure that? Because it's curved, it's rounded. So that's why it's not geometric. I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to do the side. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do a diagonal line going to the middle. Diagonal to the middle. And then I go on the right side, and I'm going to make a diagonal to the middle. And now my freeform shape is a heart. H-E-A-R-T. We use hearts a lot in our pictures. And finally, my last favorite freeform shape is going to have a lot of diagonals, and it's also going to have a horizontal line. Now, this shape might be a little tricky. You might have to rewind this video and do it over a few times. You have to watch it a couple times. I know it could be a little tricky. Or just take your time and do it very carefully with me. Okay, we're going to do continuous lines together. So I'm first going to start with a diagonal line, but this time I'm going to go diagonal up. Diagonal up. Now I'm going to come diagonal down. Okay, it looks almost like a triangle. I'm going to stay over here, and I'm going to have to do another diagonal line that's going to come across and cross over this one. So I go diagonal across. Now I want to get back to the other side. I'm going to pretend that I'm walking across a straight horizontal bridge. So I am going to go horizontal, nice and straight, and crosses over this diagonal line here. Now that I'm at the other side, I want to go back to the beginning, back where I started. So I need one last diagonal line back to the beginning. And my freeform shape now is a star. I know everyone's shouting it out and saying it. Okay, great job, everybody. I want you to send me your picture of your shapes, geometric and your 2 freeform, and do your very best drawing. Take your time, go line by line, and these shapes are going to help us with our next project. Okay, I can't wait to see your drawing, everybody. Great job. Bye.